Good morning, my boys. Today we shall complete reading lesson 5, unit 3 of lesson 5. On the last occasion, I told you that the kite that was snapped and they did not find it again made something unique because a month later, the narrator's father got a letter from somewhere, and after reading the letter, it seemed that their father was crying. Why? Why he was crying? And father told them a very strange story. He told his children that he had a brother and a sister, but somehow, for some reason, he fell out with his brother. He had quarreled with his brother and left their house. But after some years, he got repentant. He repented for what he had done and went back to their house. But when he reached their house, he came to know that his brother had died, had passed away. And he could not find any trace of his sister. But what happened after that? What happened with their kite, the kite of the children? Now we shall learn it. আগের দিন আমরা একটা অদ্ভুত গল্প শুনেছিলাম। সেটা ন্যারেটরের বাবা বলেছিলেন তাদের, ন্যারেটরকে এবং ক্লডকে, মানে ন্যারেটরের দাদাকে। একটা চিঠি এসেছিল ঘড়িটা উপড়ে যাবার মাসখানেক পরে, এবং সেই চিঠিটা পড়ার পরে মনে হচ্ছিল যেন বাবা কাঁদছেন। এবং এটা দেখে তারা যখন অবাক হয়েছে, বাবা তাদের বললেন, তোমরা জানো তোমাদের ঘড়িটার কি হয়েছে? এই বলে তিনি একটা অদ্ভুত গল্প শোনালেন তাদের, যে তার এক ভাই এক বোন ছিল, কিন্তু কোনো কারণে তিনি তার ভাইয়ের সঙ্গে একবার খুব ঝগড়া করে বাড়ি ছেড়ে চলে এসেছিলেন। পরে তার এটা নিয়ে অনুতাপ হয় এবং তিনি নিজের বাড়িতে ফিরে যান। কিন্তু ফিরে গিয়ে জানেন তার ভাই ইতিমধ্যে মারা গিয়েছে, আর বোন যে কোথায় গেছে সেটা তিনি আর খুঁজে বার করতে পারেননি। তারপর কি হলো? The letter father had just received was from his sister, Aunt Esther. এই উচ্চারণটা ESTHER, উচ্চারণটা এস্টার করাই ভালো। The letter father had just received was from his sister, Aunt Esther. Father had just received a letter, and the letter was written by his sister, that means the aunt of the narrator, and Claude. The name of their aunt is Esther, mother of Dick and Minnie, and she had two children, Minnie and Dick. Just like the narrator's father, she also had two children, and one of them was a boy and the other was a girl, just like the narrator's father. She was a widow. She had already lost her husband. She was a widow who lived hundreds of miles inland. And then, at that time, their aunt lived somewhere hundreds of miles away from the shore. That is why, whenever the narrator and her family was on the mainland, they could not find their aunt. Father could not find his sister. That means Aunt Esther lived hundreds of miles inland, far from the shore. One day, when Dick and Mimi were, but what happened with it? What is the relation with the kite and the letter? One day, when Dick and Mimi were out in the woods, one day while they were playing, Dick and Mimi, the two children of Aunt Esther, were out in the woods. Somehow they entered the woods near their house. And when they entered the woods, they discovered the kite on the top of a tree. They somehow uh, came across the kite that had been snapped from them. And they carried the kite home. Kite is always an interesting thing to children. That is why they got the kite anyhow and they brought it home. The kite was patched with a letter. Can you remember, my boys? The kite was patched with a letter. And it had been patched with a letter. It was patched with a letter only because the narrator and her brother could not find any paper handy at the time of repairing their kite. And that is why they had got the letter at hand and they had repaired it with it. That kite flew away as far as the woods near Aunt Esther's house, and her children got it and brought it home. Something miraculous, isn't it? Something miraculous, একটা অলৌকিক ঘটনা ঘটছে। আসলে অনেকেরই মনে হতে পারে যে it's a bit miraculous, a bit wishful thinking. It may happen. It seemed to you in that way. But you know, my boys, literature is an art. An art does not necessarily to be absolutely real. It is the stylized expression of reality. Always mind it. Art is not reality. It is the stylized expression of reality. আমরা সবাই জানি, everybody of us knows that নাচ, dance, it is the expression of human emotion. মানুষের আবেগের স্বতঃস্ফূর্ত বহিঃপ্রকাশ, a spontaneous expression of human emotion. মানুষের আবেগের স্বতঃস্ফূর্ত বহিঃপ্রকাশ হচ্ছে নাচ। এবার কেউ রেগে গিয়ে এরকম ভাবে হাত পা ছুটছে, নাচ হবে? অথচ নাচের মধ্যে দিয়েও তো বিভিন্ন জায়গায় আমরা রাগের বহিঃপ্রকাশ দেখতে পাই নাকি? যে ইমোশনই প্রকাশ হোক না কেন, হোয়াট এভার দি ইমোশন মে বি, when it is an art, it must be stylized. It has no necessity to be absolutely realistic. Reality and art are different things. Reality is reality that happens before our eyes, and an art is also reality, but it is the stylized form of reality. It has some sort of creativity and not absolutely realistic. Realistic it might be, but not it is mere reality. So it may sound absurd, it may seem to be absurd that a letter that had been patched on a kite flew away as far as the narrator's father's sister, Aunt Esther, to her house, near her house, and her children somehow came across it and brought it home. It seems to be a bit absurd. Still, such absurd things sometimes happen in our life. Not in this way, but something like this way. Okay, and this is the difference between reality and art. This is the artistic expression of a real incident. They discovered the kite on the top of a tree and carried it home. They somehow came across the kite which had been patched with a letter, and carried it home. When their mother saw the kite patched with the letter, she turned pale. Her mother saw the kite which was patched with a letter, and after seeing the letter, somehow she became pale. She looked absolutely pale, as if there was no blood on her face. Why? What is the relation between the letter on the kite and her pallor? What is the relation? Now we shall know the relation. It was the very letter she had once written to her brother. That is a miracle. The letter that had been on the bookcase in their sitting room, in the narrator's sitting room, for years over, had once been written by father's sister, that is Aunt Esther, many years ago. And that letter had been got by these two children who used it to mend their kite, to repair their kite. যে চিঠিটা বহু বছর আগে বাবার বোন এস্টার, আন্ট এস্টার, এদের আন্ট লিখেছিলেন বাবাকে, সেটা ওখানেই ছিল বুককেসের ওপরে। বাবা ফেলে দেননি, আবার যত্ন করে কোথাও লুকিয়েও রাখেননি। সামহাও সেটা ওদের হাতে পড়ে গেছিল, ওটা হাতের সামনে পেয়েছে তারা, তাদের they had been in a hurry, and that's why they had used it, and the letter went back to the writer again. She could easily recognize her own handwriting, and Philippa was her mother's name and Claude was her father's. There were the names of two children on the kite, we know that. Philippa, Claude Leet and Philippa Leet, and their address also. She could see the name and the address. The name was known to her because Claude was her father's name and Philippa was her mother's. That means the narrator's father christened his children according to the names of his parents. His parents means Aunt Esther's parents also. So she could easily recognize the letter and also could understand that these two names are of the children of her elder brother. She knew who we must be. So as soon as she saw the kite, the letter, she could easily understand who Claude Leet and Philippa Leet were. So she sat down and wrote to Big Half Moon and further received her letter. At once, without wasting any time, she began writing a letter to her elder brother to Big Half Moon Island, and father at last received the letter from her sister. How amazing the entire incident is, isn't it, my boys? How amazing, how happy thing. Next day, father went and brought Aunt Esther and Dick and Mimi with him. Father also did not waste any time. On the very next day, he went to the mainland and reached his sister, and he brought Aunt Esther with her two children, Dick and Mimi. They have been here ever since, and from then on, they are with them, with these three. Sister got her brother back, brother got his sister back, and four children got their relations that they had been looking for so far, hankering after so far. Aunt Esther is a dear. Aunt Esther is a dear. Mind the language. Aunt Esther here dear, আমরা ডিয়ার বলতে প্রিয় বুঝি, বাট এখানে ডিয়ার বলতে of attractive personality. Aunt Esther is a nice person, and Dick and Mimi are too jolly for words, and Dick and Mimi are very joyful. They are very good companions, and they are good, very good cousins, brothers and sisters too. But the best of it all is that we have relations now. But what is the greatest thing of this incident is that we got our relations at last, and we had been so far been we had so far been hankering after relations. We thought that we had no relations, but now we have got our relations, and we have got an entire family, a flourishing family. Now the text has come to an end. Tomorrow we shall discuss something else about this text, and after that we shall learn a bit of grammar, and after learning all these things, the comprehension will be your homework. Okay, for today, bye.